What's going on, champions? This is Julien Stoutt, licensed personal trainer, licensed PE teacher, world record powerlifter, special education teacher, here to take the fear out of fitness and help you become the best version of yourself as humanly possible. Well, guys, today remedial class is in session because it's apparent to me that a high majority of you do not want to be in relationships anymore. Y'all don't want to be married. Y'all don't want to have boyfriends. Y'all don't want to have girlfriends. Doesn't matter. This is not even sexuality specific. This is literally straight up human being specific. You guys don't know the slightest clue about what the other person wants. Shoot, y'all don't even know what y'all want until it's too late. Now, there are many of people who are in the space that are probably a little bit more qualified than I am to do this because they have been doing the relationship end of this a lot longer than I have on YouTube. But you're talking to somebody that's been with the same woman for 22 years. Full stop. End there. Qualification certified. All right? Y'all, let's start this. Two subject matters that are intertwined but not related in regards to why some of y'all are not going to have very good relationship statuses for very long. Ladies, I'm gonna tell you something right now. If y'all act the way that I see y'all act when talking about Keke Palmer's boyfriend, the way y'all talk about Jonah Hill, I promise you, y'all got one of two options. Y'all are not in relationships, or you're in a relationship and think it's going well and he secretly cheated on you. He ain't with the nonsense. If he's with you and y'all have been in a relationship and you're in this mind frame, I promise you, there's no way that he is faithful to you long term. He might have been faithful for you for a few months, might have been for a year or two. After a while, he's going to get stressed out, irritated, and pissed off at the fact that you're treating him like trash. And you think that everything beneath your feet floats and never stings. Well, when the truth is, you're a human, just like he is. Fellas, if you cannot stand within your frame and have discussions with your girl or your wife or your man, for that matter, behind closed doors, regardless of whether or not they were public about it, that's regardless. If you cannot handle business behind closed doors in a way where it is not detrimental to you, your significant other, and the well-being of your family, you need to go to remedial class. And I'm going to be the one to teach it. So, ladies, let me tell you something. If a man tells you in a very clear, concise manner, these are the things that he is not going to accept in your relationship, you have only two choices: accept it or go. That's it. Nothing else. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. Doesn't mean he's a bad person. It means that this is what he is not going to tolerate. And the hypocrisy that I cannot stand when I see this stuff is that it is unhealthy all of a sudden to have boundaries. It is unhealthy to ask a woman or a man to not do specific things that you know personally will cause you angst. Now, what does that mean? I don't care if a man or woman is uncomfortable with you just having your hair cut. Now, obviously, there's certain things that are just unreasonable, but let's be real. If a woman doesn't like, fellas, if a woman doesn't like you cutting your hair in such a style that makes you look as attractive as all get out, and you accept those terms, you accepted those terms. Don't complain. If you think that those terms are crazy like I do, guess what? Don't step into the relationship. I'm telling you right now, if my wife told me that my hairstyle is too sexy to be walking out the house with, you need to do something else with it. And I'm telling you now, if this was our relationship from the get-go, no, this wouldn't be 22 years in. I'm telling you that now. If I, on the flip side, was doing that to my wife, telling her that her hairstyles are too attractive, they attract too many men because your hair is just too beautiful, I don't think we'd make it 22 years. Because newsflash, my wife don't run things here. And I don't run her either. What a relationship is supposed to be is a conglomerate of ideas that make sense to both people and agree upon those ideas so that you and that person can move forward in a harmonious manner as humanly possible. Is there going to be arguments? Yes. Because sometimes things come up that wasn't even thought of. Luckily for us, we've been in relationships before and we figured out most of the stuff ahead of time. But every now and then there's something that comes up and somebody's going to be wrong. I'm sorry, somebody's going to be wrong. Sometimes it's me. Sometimes it's her. And you know what? Stand on your square and apologize like you would expect them to apologize if they were wrong. Apologize on the same level that you were making noise about your feelings. If you can't do that, don't be in a relationship. Period. Ladies, the disrespect that I heard y'all give Keke Palmer's boyfriend, talking about do your job and arrange and date the breast milk. For real? Seriously? That's where we go in. So let me get this straight. If this man is making financially less than you, he doesn't earn the respect that he only earns the respect that you feel he deserves. So never mind that he's a human being with feelings and emotions. Never mind all of that, but because you make more money than him, he needs to lick the bottom of your boots. I promise you, ladies, those of you who are in that position, ladies that you think that he is beneath you and deserves to be treated as such, I promise you your relationships won't last long. It's just that simple. Then on the flip side, if the man is the one who's making the most money and he's the one telling you he doesn't like what you have on, all of a sudden he's controlling. He doesn't let me do this and that and the other. He's abusive. That word is being thrown around so much, it's nauseating. Because back when you heard a man abused his wife and you believed the women, you knew that man's name was Mud. He wasn't respected amongst men. Really? You got to slap your wife around in order to get through to her that this is what you want? Really? Bro, no. You're not a man when you have to resort to tactics like that. Men are respected by the fact that they are respected. When a man speaks and they're respected, they just simply listen. Sometimes they don't listen because they think that their way is right. And then when they find out otherwise, the respect is returned. On the flip side, fellas, just because your woman is in a financially lesser position than you doesn't mean that she doesn't make sense. Doesn't mean that what she's asking you to do is not reasonable. So for instance, give you an example. Driving in a car with a member of the opposite sex could be a problem for some relationships. Now, some people are like, that's unreasonable. Why can't I get in a car with a female colleague and go to wherever to go get something to eat and come back? Innocently enough, that might be true. It might not be a problem, but the appearance might be a problem, because now that it's become like, let's say for instance, you just keep going back and forth with this particular female coworker to Chick-fil-A, to Wendy's, to Church's Chicken, to Popeyes, wherever. Every single chance y'all get. Do y'all see what it looks like? Regardless of whether it is or not, do you see what it looks like? Suppose, depending on where you live, suppose your girlfriend's friend sees you with her. You don't think that's going to cause problems? You don't think so? Now, full disclosure, anytime I'm friends with a female, colleague or otherwise, they're friends with my wife too. I just do that personally just to get things out of the way, because I'm not going to play those games. I'm just going to keep myself in a position where I am actively avoiding seemingly being inappropriate. All right? That's a, marriage tip for y'all in remedial class. I just don't put myself in that position. Every female client I have, if I have the opportunity to introduce them to my wife, I let them meet her. To let them know, this is the woman I married. This is the woman I chose. This is the person I plan on being with for the rest of our lives. Also, I want them to know that, remember that face, because that sweet, beautiful face ain't so sweet and pretty when it comes to me. And checking other women when it comes about me. All right? And the same goes for me on the flip side. Make no mistake about it, fellas. Do I even need to say it? Okay, I will say it. She's not available. She's married to me. She's mine. End of story. Like I am hers. This right here, people, is the symbol of representation of who I chose and who she chose to accept. Period. Full stop. Now, outsiders, mom and dads, sisters, brothers, cousins, aunts, uncles, grandma, grandpa, let me tell you something. If you're not trying to guide the relationship to a level of success, then you need to stay in your lane. Your lane is over there. Your lane is over there. Your lane ain't here. That goes for everybody, including me. I have children. They're adults. I may not approve of their relationship sometimes, but you know what? It's their relationship. But at the end of the day, I want them to be successful. I want them to be happy. So if I see something that I don't like, because I see that based on my experience, based on the time frame that I've existed on this planet, that it could be problematic, I'm going to say something. Just that simple. Now, if I'm doing it to be malicious and be destructive of their relationship, you know what? Go about your business. Cut them off. But if they're genuinely trying to help you achieve another level of success in your relationship, should listen. They've been around longer than you. But the disrespect that men are experiencing, you mean to tell me a man can't say something about what his woman is wearing? Since when? My wife could tell me not to wear certain things. I'm telling you straight up. Am I soft for that? No. because there's a reason why. There's certain things that I wear that, regardless of what I'm wearing, it can't be helped. Certain things are gonna show up on me. I am physically fit. I have muscles. You know what? Those types of things are levels of insecurities. If my wife was to tell me to put something else on, those are levels of insecurities that I have no time for. She met me like this. I was in shape already. I had muscles then. So what's brand new? Don't act brand new now. My wife is well endowed. Mammary glands for days. Okay? My wife is bottom heavy. That ain't going nowhere, weight loss or not. So here's the deal. She's covered, but it shows. I can't be any kind of against that. That's why I married her. It shows, regardless of what she has on. She can have on a nun's outfit. I promise you, you're going to see that she's got the meats. Period. But you know what? She's in a nun outfit. She is doing the best she can to present herself in a way that men should not be sexualizing her. Is that always possible? Not necessarily. Now, but there's a difference. If my wife was walking out the house with a butt hanging out, 80% of it, 90% of it, 95% of it, guess what? That ain't going with me. You could call me a chauvinist if you want to. It ain't going with me. If I walk out of the house in gray sweatpants, trust and believe me, I promise you there's a turnaround section in the house. She's going to be like, bro, what are you doing? Take your behind back in the room and find some jogging pants that make sense. Because you ain't going out in that. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn my black behind around and change my pants. What's wrong with you? You think you slick? I'm telling you what she'll tell me. You guys are on remedial in these relationships, thinking that you're going to run roughshod over somebody just strictly the way you see fit, like there isn't another person involved, like another person's ideas aren't involved, like somebody out there is not of autonomy themselves. Now, speaking of autonomy, y'all coming for Jonah Hill because he expressed his displeasures about how his woman conducts herself. I don't care if he doesn't like his girl wearing white slippers on Tuesdays. If that's how he chooses to run his household, then that's what it is. This man clearly and respectfully expressed his concerns based on the fact that he wants to be a father and a husband. He said, I want to be a father and a husband, and these are my requirements. Do it or don't. If you choose one, you don't have me. If you choose the other, you have me for all time, but you're going to lose something else. Fellas, don't we make those choices? If you gonna be with me, you can't be drinking and smoking. If you want to be with me, you got to take care of yourself. If you want to be with me, you got to be home after work. You can't be out in them streets running around roughshod, because I am worried about you. Every time you step outside and run with these hoodlums, guess what? I'm worried sick. I'm panicking. Every time I see something on the news and you're not home yet, I think it's you. There is a very specific requirement that my wife has that I am going to talk about. If I'm not going to be home in a reasonable period of time, or if I am not going to be home at the time that I said I'm going to be home, I need to call her. I can't express this enough. She was like that from day one. We weren't even in a fully committed relationship, but when I told her I was on my way somewhere, I was on my way to her, and I didn't make it in time, she was worried. She still worries 22 years later. If I tell her that this is where I'm going to be, then that's where I'm going to be. But if I told her this is where I'm going to be, and I'm not where I'm supposed to be, she's going to be worried. Full story, true story. Just the other day, I had to work. I worked late, and when I told her that I was going to be home by like 9 o'clock. By 9:30, mind you, my wife is asleep, but by 9:30, my phone was buzzing with a text message, "Where are you?" Not the fact that I was out, it was the fact that 9 o'clock had came and passed and I'm not home. And the text message blew up. Boop, boop. Now, she didn't go crazy and blowing up my phone and cussing me out, because then that's a whole nother conversation that we might have to have, because that's not necessary either. However, where are you? I don't even trip about it. I know what's up. I know that that's going to happen. And because I know that's going to happen, you better just answer the question. Where are you? I phone called her immediately and I said, "I'm on my way home, babe. I'm literally like 10, 15 minutes out." You had me worried. I didn't want to wake you up and call you to let you know that I was going to be late. So I figured that if I was not home in enough time and you woke up and realized I wasn't home, you'd ring me up and I'll let you know then. But I didn't want to wake you because I know you need your sleep. Relationships are give and take. There are things that you're going to have to give up. There's things that you're going to have to take. And if you don't do either, you're a fool. In the relationship, we call them simps on the male end. I don't know what y'all call women simps, but that's what that would be. If you just tolerate everything that your significant other does, unless they are literally moving accordingly, that you don't even have to address anything, that's different. But I'm talking about if there are things that you know you full well don't like and you're accepting it and you don't say anything, you just keep your mouth shut, you're a fool. Ladies, you're full of crap. You know full well that you tell your man he can't leave the house in that. I tell you what. Fellas, I'm not trying to start any arguments in your house, but if your girl is on that she can wear whatever she wants tip, you do the same. He can't tell me what to wear, or you can't tell her what to wear. Go right ahead, fellas. Go grab them gray sweatpants, pull them on, and walk out the house. I don't care if you got Timbs on. I don't care if you got slides on. I don't care if you got Jordans on. It don't matter to me. Just leave the house in it. And then let her know, you can't tell me what to wear. I guarantee you that argument will be over immediately. If that's the mindset she has. Now, I have friends that tell me he could go out in whatever he wants to go out in. So in that regards, if that's the attitude that she has, then brother, you got to have the same attitude too. I'm serious. Because you know what? Truthfully, more than likely, she respects herself enough to not put herself in a position where she's just embarrassing her man. Okay? But I digress. If y'all don't learn to compromise, if you guys don't learn how to understand other people's feelings, be empathetic, if you guys don't begin to set boundaries and rules for each other that is acceptable to both, you will never, and I mean never, have a meaningful relationship a day in your life. You might have a man for the moment, but you won't have him for a lifetime. Fellas, same thing applies to you. If you think that every single thing that she does, you have to have complete and utter control over it, that she has no say in how she lives her life, she has no autonomy outside of you, she might be your woman for a little while, but she won't be your woman for a lifetime. Trust and believe me. Now, if you heard anything that I said that you didn't like, or if you heard things that you agree with, go ahead and go in the comment section and give me a shout out and let me know what you think. I appreciate you listening to me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. Have a nice day. Class is out. Be the best you.